Hey, I know possibly most people will not recognize me because I don't have my shirt and tie and jacket and everything on. This is a casual day as I am working on my DJ business, but our good friend, magician, brand new to the crew at Event Ensemble, Sebastian Figueroa, or Figueroa, para todos que se hablan español, has some questions about being a new member. And I'm going to front load this real quick before we get into the conversation of Q&A about how to be successful with Event Ensemble, and share my screen so that I can show everyone that when we first welcome someone to Event Ensemble, they get this really friendly welcome, Sebastian Figueroa, to the newest member of our group, yada, 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 right? And then you'll notice as you scroll down that some people, including there's an extra comment, we'll show it there. Robert says, welcome. You replied, by the way, good form there by replying, because that's part of what I was going to say. Ingrid said hello. Debbie said hello. You want to know where to start? That's the best place to start. These people are screaming, I want to network with you. I want to get to know you. I want to find out about your service. I'm interested in networking. Another 250 people in the group, they may or may not have seen the post. They may or may not be interested in networking, but by God, these people, they want to network with you. The next thing is, if I scroll down, you'll notice that periodically you'll see the monthly renewal mention. And I'm only doing this in January, and it's a long story as to why, but there they are. These are the monthly renewals. So these are people that are in the group, and it's like showcasing them to let people remember who is in the group. These are other people that you could comment on. See, there's like 4 people liked and a couple of people commented. Only one that was the same that commented on yours, Ingrid. Everybody else is different. Mm-hmm. This is a place to engage and interact with people. Happy that you've renewed. I'm new to the crew, would love to find out about you. Okay, so those are a couple of quick suggestions on how you can get to be successful from within the group and get to know people. Because if you look at 250 members, that's a lot of people. And who do you reach out to, and who do you connect with, and all of that? That can be, you know, somewhat problematic. I'm going to show the screen real quickly one more time because I have flipped it to the events section. And these are the upcoming events. And you'll see that on February 3rd, which is not this Thursday, but next Thursday, it's the first Thursday of the month, we meet online at 9, the first and third Thursday. A great place to get information and to say hello to people. Okay. And then if you're the in-person type, the second Thursday of each month, we are live in person. We also do a hybrid on that second Thursday. So if you're still not ready, if you're still masking up and don't want to get next to people, that's fine. There's a hybrid option. So we have a big video screen, and the people on the screen get to see the room. The people in the room get to see the screen. So it's, again, that hybrid experience. So those are a couple of things right off the top as to how to get ready to be successful with the group.
Okay, great.
Questions, answers, ideas?
Yeah, so I just, you know, because I looked through the group and was trying to figure out, you know, who to reach out specifically for the types of events that I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let me answer that question as a networker, but not specifically as a member of an event ensemble. If you were to look at the hierarchy of who refers first or who is in the best position to refer people, the absolute pinnacle at the top of that list is venues. So whether you're talking about Chateau Luxe, which is a member of our group, or, you know, the Cottage, which is also a member, but obviously Cottage a little bit smaller, Chateau Luxe big and, you know, fabulous. Both great places, both members, but a different audience, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. So venues fall at the very top of the list. And while we often talk about weddings, Event Ensemble is all events. So that includes corporate and weddings and mitzvahs and socials such as birthdays and anniversaries and that kind of thing. And corporate's in there. So don't feel, well, there's like, they never mention the corporate people. They're there. Next from venues, which might work better for you, are planners. Sometimes referred to as coordinators, but the planners in the group, and you'll probably want to look and find out which ones are wedding only planners. Maybe not a big referral source for you, unless you're doing like rehearsal dinners for Magic and so forth. But we have very specific corporate planners where they only do corporate events, and they are really key for you because they're in a position that if they know who you are and what you do, then they could refer you. I highly recommend and encourage that you do what we're doing right now, which is a little FaceTime, a little talk, a little chat. Who are you? What do you do? How can I help you? What kind of clients are you looking for? And it's a two-way street. So it's not just, here's my brochure, buy my stuff, right?
Mhm.
But instead, a little bit about you, a little bit about me. What are you looking for? How can I help? Who can I refer to you? And back and forth, if you will. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next question.
Yeah, that was the big thing. I actually met Greg James yesterday at
Cool.
At an event, and then he had mentioned there was some networking event this morning. And someone said that you were going to attend.
Did you go?
No, it's difficult for me to do the early because I have a little one that I help get ready for school, and sometimes I take him, and sometimes my wife takes him, and that's like right at the middle of that. So
Okay.
it's hard for me to
I totally get it.
get
What
the.
he is referring to is, and there's two different ones, okay? And they're slightly different, and they're both great. I was not there this morning, which is why I asked if you had attended. Otherwise, if I'd been there, I would have known that you weren't there. I'll start with the Tuesday because it's only once a week. It's Tuesdays, and that is Mastermind Roundtable. And the person manages this Tuesday meeting, also does the Monday, Wednesday, Friday meetings. He's a coach. He's a member of Ensemble. His name is David Hepburn. So the Tuesday thing is a Mastermind Roundtable, and it's less about networking, although networking happens, and more about conversation, content, and training, if you will. And the roundtable concept is there's more interaction amongst the people that are there with a Q&A and how do you respond to this? And the topics are not always about business per se, but can be things that make you think. Or like that old early 2000, late 90s song, things that make you go, I don't know if you remember that song, but not important.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, well,
Yeah.
there you go. But suffice to say, that's what the Tuesday Mastermind Roundtable is. Then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's CTC, which used to be Coaching Through Corona, and he's in a brand change right now where it's coaching through, and then you can fill in the C with something else, like consumption.
Yeah.
or it's coaching through consummation, or he's just got a couple of different things, or curriculum. He got a variety of different C's. He's going to settle on one eventually, and then he'll change the website. But that Monday, Wednesday, Friday is really, really about business acumen. How are you thinking? What are you doing? And how can you grow your business? And what a coach would bring to the party, but more on a group scale versus a one-to-one.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's my coaching on this concept, if you will, for whether you're talking about roundtable or CTC. If you already know that you can't make all of them, that's fine. Make some once in a while, when you can, here and there. So cumulatively, you may not have been at all of them, but you've been to a few, and you've benefited as a result. I've received referrals from people in these groups, but it's less about referrals and more about business building. Okay.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
what Greg James was talking about.
Perfect. And I met him. I met David Hepburn
Ah,
yesterday as
what?
well.
Look at that.
Sure.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Did you do the fill the gap thing with him?
I met him at the SNP
Ah,
group.
wonderful. Okay. Strategic networking partners.
Yes.
All right. See, there you
Yeah.
go. I know just enough to be dangerous. Um,
Right.
here's a little something about networking. If you belong to a BNI, Business Networking International, they're really strict. You belong to our group. You are not allowed to belong to any other group.
Mhm.
That hold on, that's a little, is that narrow? People are going to network. You can't stop people from networking in other groups. So Event Ensemble is one niche, and we encourage our members to participate in, learn from a variety of different sources. It makes us far more successful, well more rounded, and quite frankly, more likable.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm throwing it back at you. What
Yeah.
else you got for us?
That was, that was kind of it. Just, I have to go back now through the members and just, you know, like toot my own horn. I
Well,
just say I'm new
so
to the
so
group and new to the area. I'm a magician. I'd love to connect and see how I can help and see how I may be able to help you. And
Mhm. Okay, so you've actually done two things in the last day or so that have actually proved that you're going to be a great networker. You met Greg James, right? A DJ,
yes.
member of Ensemble. You met with David Hepburn, a coach who's also a member of Ensemble. He's one of probably three non-event people that are members of Ensemble. So
Hmm.
he's really the exception to the rule. There are very few that are not event people in the group. But that said and done, you've already expanded your network because you now know a DJ other than me, and you know a coach, right? So when you're going through the posts and you're seeing what they write or how they respond, you're now in a position to refer people. So if somebody says, I'm looking for a DJ, you can tag Greg James. See how that works? So
Yeah.
it's not always, hey, I'm a magician and hire me, but you're already now in a position to start the process. So you're on the path and you're in good standing. But wait, there's more. Perhaps you may not have got the memo. Did we talk about your event ensemble spotlight?
No.
Just in time. And I promise I'll put on my suit and tie for it as well. See how this is branded for Event Ensemble? Because that's the conversation that we're having right now.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm wearing a different hat or I'm looking to promote somebody else's business or service. So, for example, when I sit down and talk to Micah, who's a voiceover professional, I would then brand my background for him and what he does. Right? So in that same vein or idea, we do a Zoom that's recorded that is an interview conversation with you about you. My background is not showing my DJ. It's not showing Event Ensemble. It's actually branded for your magical services. And if we're really smart, you'll have the same background. So it looks like we're sitting in the same place, but not a requirement. It's just a simple sit down and chat. But here's what happens. It's 10, 15 minutes. That's all about you.
Yeah.
You can now take this video and use it as a promotion. It goes onto our Event Ensemble YouTube site, right? Where other members and other people who are looking for event professionals can find and watch the videos and learn about you. I add, whenever I refer somebody, if they've done a spotlight, I add the link to the YouTube spotlight so it promotes them. So not only am I saying this is a great magician, but here, you can meet him, right? Because it's this whole little personal thing. I'll share with you the link. It's a different link than all my other links, if you will, for scheduling appointments. And it's the spotlight link. I'll put it in the chat and I'd be happy to schedule one for you. They are free, right? So it's not about paying for anything. And they're great promotional tools, because not only do I share it in Ensemble, and not only do I post it on the YouTube page, but it goes into what I refer to as rotation within my network. I manage probably 5 or 6 different sites, and some of them are event related. And so I periodically will post spotlights for people that I've done in the past. So yours will go there as well.
Okay.
So you didn't know about that?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So it sounds like you DJ and then you do other stuff as well, right?
Was that a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to tell people, if they are, and then you fill in the blank, when they're in a networking group, they should tell people just the one thing that they represent, so that it doesn't get confusing as to what are all the other things that they do, because that can muddy the water, if you will. And so there's nothing worse than somebody who says, I'm a DJ. Oh, and I also sell this juice. Oh, and I can also save you money on your phone system. It's like, just pick one, right?
Yeah.
And you've already proven that you're smarter than the average bear, because you've done that and you've said magic multiple times. That's what you do. But because you asked, I will just briefly say that there are some other things that I'm involved in. So we have, for example, my Party Favors, which is my DJ service, which you already know about. But then I also have this other thing that's a CRM, which is software. And even though it's called DJ Manager, it's for any event professional looking to manage their contact list, do drip email campaigns, and to manage their calendar and so forth. And then, because I teach DJs how to DJ, and I'm not talking about this wiki, but performance style. I'm known as the game master to literally thousands of DJs across the world. And so I have a site for that. And then last but not least, we offer a CRM service that's online, that you don't have to do the work. We do the work for you, and we manage your list. And so those are a couple of different hats that I wear. But there's crossover for some of those things, so I can cross promote my members. For example, a lot of people that are using In Favor are event professionals, and so they like to watch the spotlights for the event people. And because I'm a professional entertainer, all my people are looking for you, right? So that's a regular rotation in my Party Favor business page on Facebook, where I'm rotating in and out event planners and magicians and caterers and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll close with this one little concept about evergreen, because a lot of times people get confused about this. They think that they have to create content over and over and over again and continue to create something new. But the truth is, as I'm certain that you will understand because you're a magician, right? Mm-hmm. At the Magic House, the matinee and the evening performance are probably almost identical. The only thing that changes is the audience, right? Well, the same is true for your social media. The people that are coming to your social media page are not going to say, oh, that's the same thing he posted, 6 months ago, because that person has already hired you or not and has already moved on. So if you have good, valuable content, you can rotate it every 6 to 8 months without having to continue to make new stuff, as long as what you're sharing, again, is still current.
Mm.
And that concept is referred to as evergreen. And that's something that I coach people about, so that they don't have to, you don't have to keep recreating the wheel. Okay, I think you got the idea.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess the other big thing for me is, because I spent the last 10 years really, really focusing more on trying to get people to an establishment to see a great show instead of me going out to do the show. You know, and then obviously these past 2 years have just been, you know,
Mm,
a jumble of, you know, getting whatever or not being able to do certain things because, you know, it's funny, California and New York were like the strictest on all the regulations. And I remember in the middle of the pandemic, you know, when California, you had to wear a mask everywhere. And we came out to Arizona, and Arizona was like, what? There's a pandemic going on? Are you serious? Oh. And it was like, it was just so eye-opening. And, you know, now that I'm here, and I'm just trying to get my bearings as to, okay, who should I reach out to, who could really benefit uh, from having my services. And my main thing was I was going to try to reach out to different resorts and their sales teams. And that's
okay, so let me help you out if I might. That's a very difficult door to knock on, because even if you knock on the door, they may or may not answer. We have on multiple occasions had what we call a panel discussion with venues and wedding coordinators or event coordinators, because remember the top two that I mentioned earlier in this conversation, venues and planners, are those who can most likely refer you. And we asked questions like, how do we get on your preferred vendor list? How do we get your attention? How can we, you know, ingratiate ourselves to you? And it was interesting that most of the properties said, don't give me your collateral. I don't want your junk mail, right? Don't flood me with your business cards. They're going to end up in the round file, right? And don't show up unannounced without an appointment, because I'm a busy person. I have appointments with clients. And if you just show up and pop up like, you know, Jack in the Box, what are you doing here? So those are the high points, if you will, from the conversations that we've had with venues. It may be different in New York or in California where you've done some performing before, but it works better if you have an introduction to that individual, or if you can schedule an appointment, and sometimes they want to visit and sometimes they don't, and there's no guarantee that they'll actually refer you. So that's why referrals from fellow event professionals can sometimes be easier when you're first starting out. In addition to venues and planners, there's this other person that's not an agent and they're not a planner, but essentially they bring the group together, the group of event professionals.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them, and they're not members of Ensemble. And let me just make a note here. I'm trying to remember what his name is.
Are they DMCs or?
Well, okay. So that's, and they're, okay. So, you know, if you go down the hierarchy, and it's not about popularity, it's not about importance, it's just, you know, you got to list them, 1, 2, 3. This person would be below a DMC, if you will, because they're kind of like in this hybrid section. And I think the guy's name is Bob, but I'll find him and I'll make an introduction for you, because he's always looking for talent. Now, regarding the DMCs,
That's another tough nut to crack.
oh, but it's even worse than a tough nut to crack. They've had the absolute hardest time ever. Most of the people who worked at those organizations,
Are gone.
they're gone. That is correct.
Yeah.
They've either become event planners, they've gone into some other aspect of events, hospitality, or they've left the industry altogether. As I'm certain I probably mentioned to you, at the height of our group at 2019, before COVID, we had 1,200 plus members. Now we have 250.
50, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, where did they all go? Well, we got rid of a lot of, you know, part-timers and people who were not doing it seriously. But at the same time, most of them, they're just gone. They've moved to something else that paid. So back to DMCs, they have not come back yet. They're working hard to come back, but they have not really resurfaced, if you will. Several of the event professionals that are in our group who were really connected with them, I'm thinking of a DJ who was really connected with them, who referred me from time to time when he was not available. And also a mentalist, Brett Berry, worked a lot closely with the DMCs here. They're looking for work because they don't have contacts within the event industry to get referrals, or they didn't build a client base, which is what In Favor is about, building your own client base so that you fish off of your own peer versus having to have somebody continue to feed you. It's just, there's no right or wrong. It's just a different philosophy. But my 35,000 plus contacts puts me in a position where I don't have to hunt for people. I just have to be friendly with those 35,000 people. And one of them or enough of them are going to have an event throughout this year that's going to keep me busy.
Yeah.
But again, a different philosophy. You're starting fresh because you're brand new here in Arizona. So it's a good time to start thinking about building your own personal client database.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're in the right place, my friend.
Cool.
More questions, more answers, ideas?
Yeah, no, I think that was kind of it. Just I gotta continue.
You got some work to do.
Yeah, I gotta go down the list and keep doing what I was doing and reaching out.
Look for people who are squeaky wheels. They're not all necessarily good networkers, but they're the best place to start because they're active, they're participating. The people who come to meetings, online or in person, the people who post in the group, those are people who are actively networking. And that's really the best place to start.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you. And then I will. I'll see you at the online event.
Excellent. We look forward to it, my friend.
Okay. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.